ahead and get started with this meeting. Don't see the first applicant here yet, so we'll go ahead and start with Todd Dye. Would you like to come up to the presenter table? What we'll do is we'll go around the table and have introductions.
All right.
And we'll have you present your concept plan.
Okay.
And we'll start with Rex Moore.
Rex Bobbitt, City of Blackfoot, Sewer Department, Storm.
Scott Murphy, Street and Sanitation Superintendent.
Chase Clark, Building Official and Fire Marshal.
Principal New Water Superintendent.
Misty Myler.
Technician.
Permit technician, building inspector, planning and zoning.
You done?
Sure.
Wade Gardner, Facilities Manager.
Travis Allen, Planning and Zoning Administrator.
And I'm Graham Anderson, I'm the city administrator.
According to the application, this is for dividing a lot at 171 on Archer Street. You want to give us a concept of what you'd like to do there?
Yes, if you're familiar, that house has been vacant for about a year and semi under construction on the inside. It hasn't, not a lot's been done. So my plan is to finish that house, and then I would like to divide that lot. I don't plan to actually develop that back lot so I could sell it or make it attractive to somebody to buy this house and finish it. And so it looks like you have a copy of,
We have your site plan application, we also have the attachment
Yeah.
you provided.
so that's, obviously I'm not a professional draftsman, but that's the concept plan. I have been talking with surveyors about coming in and surveying this. But obviously before I write that check, I'd like to make sure that my concept is a doable plan. It does allow for both lots to remain over 7,000 square feet. And that's my plan. I'd like to divide that. The plan is, I'm in the process trying to find out where the sewer line goes out the back. I've contacted a few folks saying this house was built in 1910, and I don't think the record exists of where that sewer line actually goes and connects. So I'm talking to somebody about scoping that. Obviously, if it runs under what would be the potential build site and the other plan, that would be a problem. So then we would move that sewer line. And when we did this survey, create like a utility easement for that sewer line that would go in there. So one of the questions would be about the ability or to reconnect that sewer line in potentially a different spot.
Just a reminder, we will have notes from this meeting posted to your application later on. Misty has a chance to transcribe it.
Okay.
But for now, we'll go around the table, starting with Rex. With the information that he looked out for this project.
Okay. We have no record where the existing sewer is. You'll have to locate it. Contractor, a plumber that has a push camera with a sondie. He can trace it out for you. It would have to have a utility easement and reported. The sewer line is in the alley to the west, the sewer main. And it was approximately 8 feet deep. You can move the sewer out to pay for an inspection of the new connection, and you'll have to cap the old connection at the main. Or you could use it for the new residents.
Instead of capping that one, I could, for the new one that could connect there.
You'll have to make a new one for the existing house. Because I'm sure it'll go right through where you're gonna wanna build. And either put in a new connection for the new house or possibly use the existing connection. You'll still have to pay the sewer availability fee, which is $7,000. The Google Maps and everything else has got a marker on that's not Pacific Street, it's just an alley to the north.
Yeah, there's no frontage on any public road. Law being created.
I give you the wrong information from the map, because it says that Pacific Street.
Yes,
It's 18-foot wide alley.
so anyway. Snow removal would have to remain on site. Can't be pushed out into the street or the alley. That's all I have.
For streets, I have nothing. For sanitation, we have capacity to supply service to the property if it's divided for the new structure. And that's all I have.
Okay, so for fire, we have a hydrant that's right up front, so probably wouldn't have to do another hydrant. But the access is concerning. For emergency response, we typically, when we go down an alley to find an address, we need some kind of direction and access off of a public road. And I don't know how that would work with using an alley as your driveway in this case. I don't know if that's allowed or not. I'll let Trav touch on that, but for emergency response, that would be the only point of confusion that we need to resolve is how are we gonna get an emergency response to that back parcel so that we can get back there efficiently, quickly. So however that works. I don't know how that would work at this point. For building, your clearances, depending on what you build, those setbacks, property lines may change. You can always do a firewall if you build closer to a property line than what the code allows without one. But just be aware that whatever's proposed at the time will go through that review process and be determined. If it's a fourplex, you kind of have a few options on there. Depending on how you do a triplex, and a fourplex is going to require a sprinkler system.
Just know that the city street department does not plow alleyways, so.
So could it, would it help with the access if this little dog leg here was, if we made it narrow, but made it more like this, a flag lot, if we with the kind of term of a flag lot, where the driveway goes down the side of property to get back to it?
Yeah.
That way, the driveway would actually come on and off of Archer. Would that solve some of those problems?
Yeah, if you had a direct access off of Archer,
Yes.
then that'd be what we would look for a response. Because the address is gonna be Archer Street. So if you're coming down to Archer Street, that's how we would find it.
Okay.
So we'd go to Archer Street to that address and turn off Archer into the driveway. And you got 33 feet, so you should have plenty of clearance if you take that all the way to Archer. There should be enough clearance there for fire truck to get in and out.
I would have to narrow that some to keep this other lot at 7,000 square feet. What would the width, do you know the width requirement on
So
a driveway?
generic is gonna be 20 feet.
Uh-huh.
Probably around 12 if you're just serving that single unit.
Okay,
If it's a single unit, it's multi-unit.
it would need to be 20.
Yeah, if you're getting up to multi-units, we'll respond to the structure itself, so a single structure, you can go 12 feet.
Okay,
That's all I got for fire and building.
You got more? For water, the existing house, you'll have to relocate the service for water. Currently comes off the alley, but it'll be traversing through the new lot and the new building on it, so. And the line's connected to is a 2-inch steel line, so you either have to bring the existing house out onto Archer and tie it all back in. And then bring your, whatever you build, come off the alley to the north on that 6-inch main, especially if you're looking at any sort of multifamily need, any sort of sprinklers or larger than 1-inch, come in that way. You can bring the other water line in from that same alley on the north, but you're still gonna be traversing the property, so I mean, you're gonna have easements and stuff that it's just kind of more of a Tetris game, figuring out where we put all those things.
and I don't know for sure where the current water line comes into that house, do you?
All I have is just the location of the meter, which is just, what it's telling me, it's 11 feet south of the south line and 6 feet east of the alley pole line. So it's back there somewhere without being, I mean, I can
Okay.
come close looking at the map without.
All right. And will those numbers that you just gave be in the notes so I can look for it myself?
So, well.
Or it was again?
So these are really more of our reference. We would have to just go out and put a paint blue or something for you.
Okay. One of the questions I was gonna have about water is I thought it connected out in front of Archer because there's a current
Some
puddle
do,
there.
some don't.
Because I've got a puddle in the front yard, but the water service is not turned on to the house currently.
Yeah, and it comes off the back.
So I was wondering what could be making that puddle in the front yard.
There are some irrigation lines in some of those areas, but I don't know if that one is not. The main is clear on the east side of Archer. But if you got a puddle, we'll go investigate it too. We'll just mark the blue at the same time, so.
Okay. Do I need to make a request to do that, or is this meeting the request?
No, we'll just go do it because we're gonna go investigate a leak anyway.
Okay,
If you want to know where everything is, you can call an 811.
right.
All utilities will mark. We only mark to the meter. We don't mark anything beyond that.
Okay,
You know, it's just gonna be kind of when you have more of a solid plan on what you're gonna build and how that's gonna fit on that lot. We'll kind of determine where we move things to and put the new
Okay.
the new connection will be 2004 or 18. And but that will most likely go up in October.
okay.
By about 3%.
I want to,
Yeah, go for it.
I want to clarify, triplex or fourplex is considered a commercial residential structure, and the standard is a 20-foot access.
Okay,
If you're doing a single-family home or duplex, then the exemption is to a 12-foot driveway.
and with the water, I was gonna ask, in the backyard, there appears to be what at one time were maybe some small ditches for irrigation. Are those being used anymore, or can those be?
I wouldn't know.
Leveled.
We don't do anything with the surface water ditches. There's
13 different ditch companies in town.
Okay,
They all do their own thing.
all right, okay.
I most likely couldn't even tell you which ditch company.
all right. So I got some research to do.
But we'll help you as much as we can, but when it comes to that, we don't know. And that's what could be leaking up front if it's a buried ditch
Okay.
that is feeding all those older ones.
Okay,
Like I say, we'll go take a look and make sure it's not part of the water system.
all right.
There is a ditch that runs to the north. You can slide that picture, Misty. Slide it south. Slide the picture south, don't go south. There's that ditch right there.
Okay,
Yeah, and I know there's some laterals that go through, but it's hard to tell because not everybody uses it anymore. And so like who uses it, who doesn't use it,
okay.
we don't maintain this. Users that.
Back to sewer, I missed the possibility of multifamily because of the location. Normally on a duplex, I would require individual sewers because duplexes can be individually owned. With the location of this lot, it may be serviced by a single sewer line. However, the building must remain in single ownership.
Okay,
And that is, the sewer availability fee is $7,000 per residential unit. So if you build a duplex, it's 14. If you build a fourplex, it's 28.
run that by me one more time.
If you build a duplex, you pay $7,000 per unit.
Okay,
That's $14,000. If you build a fourplex, it'll be $28,000, $7,000 per unit.
okay,
But the building must remain under single ownership.
Yeah, for water, we'll go look at that this afternoon. Mark it for you.
I appreciate it.
That is, and then kind of as we get closer, you can see where those lines run, and that's not uncommon for us to have to do it later on. So,
Okay,
Um, As these guys are saying, I didn't realize that this was an alleyway. Everybody was talking earlier on the phone. I'd have to look at our rules for driveways for accessory uses.
okay,
You are in a HDR1 zone, and we did pass an ordinance that says that you can apply for get it reduced to LDR1 for infill under Title 11-686. But then if you apply for that conditional use permit, you have to follow the LDR1 lot size requirements. And so you do have enough for 7,000 feet in the back, but the LDR1 in the front, that creates it to be a corner lot now. And the minimum lot size requirement for a corner lot would be 8,000 feet. And so your total is 374 feet. If you subtract, 7,000 from that, you only have 7,374 left over. So you would have to, if you wanted to go that route to be able to reduce it to low density residential requirements, you'd have to probably get a variance for the lot frontage, because now you're talking about putting that driveway out there. The lot frontage is 75 feet wide. You still have enough left over for the original lot, but if your lot, you're gonna lose some square footage there. You're gonna be further away from that 8,000 foot requirement unless you get the variance. And then if you do a single family dwelling back there, and then the fire department requires the 12-foot wide driveway, then that's the variance you need for that frontage right there, because the minimum frontage for LDR1 is 75 feet. And so you only
Okay.
got 12 feet now because you got a driveway up back there. So that would be a couple things we would have to probably apply to and look at if you apply for that conditional use permit to try to get that conditional use permit to develop single-family home within the HDR one zone. It is HDR one, and it is a lot that is less than a half acre, which is the minimum lot size in the HDR one, is a half acre.
Okay.
So that's why you could apply for this conditional use permit for infill development, but it was designed for like a vacant lot within HDR one, not to split another lot. So that's all things that would have to be considered in variance or this conditional use permit that we use for infill.
Okay.
Like I said, that's more of an alley than a street, even though it shows on our maps as a street. We're short on minimum lot size for the corner lot size under LDI one. We're short for minimum lot size under HDR one. And we would have to have the variance for lot frontage for the
Okay.
back lot.
And we're short lot size for HDR one based on,
HDR one's a half acre.
Okay.
The intent is for like planned unit developments, to have at least a half acre to begin with.
okay,
But like I said, we did create that conditional use permit for infill within HDR one for single lots that haven't had anything built on it yet. But here, we have a lot with a home on it, and you're trying to split another lot. And then we're also looking at, so the front of Archer Street, you got 83.6 feet wide. And if you take 12 off that, you still have enough for 75 feet of lot frontage for the original 171 Archer. But you only have 12 feet of lot
Right.
frontage for that driveway.
okay,
That's what I'm saying there.
Yeah.
It sounds like you've got a lot of homework to do besides that. Find out where that sewer line is.
Yeah.
How much that would be to move and relocate that to a
Yeah.
buildable area.
Right.
And if you'd want to do that before or after you applied for like a conditional use permit, or a variance of some type. It's kind of hard to say that. So we have the CUP for infill, and that kind of helped us with conditions like this with lots that were underdeveloped and couldn't be developed because they got zoned HDR one. But we already have a house on there, so it's hard to say that there's hardship created there by being zoned HDR one for you to get a variance to build another split the lot and build another unit behind it.
okay,
So depending on what you want to do there, I'd like to talk to the mayor and my P&Z commission to see their feelings on that, to see if that is considered a hardship before we go applying for the variances or conditional use permits.
okay.
I think that's all I have for now. Do you have anything, Graham?
No, I mean, I think most things we can find solutions to, you know. I think Princeton hit it best. It's gonna be a game of Tetris.
Okay.
Of figuring out how to work it and make it work, but I think there can be a solution found, so. just-
Okay.
Just work with us and we'll work through and find some solutions, so.
All right. Cool, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
You got any more questions for us?
No, I think I went through my list of questions.
Okay. Like I said, these notes will be posted with your application for the site plan meeting. And
Perfect.
and you can give us a couple of days to have them transcribed.
Okay,
You can always reach out if you need additional information. We're available for that too.
probably will be reaching out, especially about what you find in the front.
No
No,
problem.
we've got standing water there.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll make sure that it's not from the culinary.
Okay.
Or if it is, we'll fix it, but if it's not one of those, I'll
Okay.
try to help you point you in the right direction.
We will have a contact list that will assign it you from this meeting posted within the notes as well.
Okay,
So you have a whole list of contacts.
Great. perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
for coming in.
Thank you.
Go back to the first item on the agenda with Chris Robinson. Did you have a chance to sign in? Bring that board with you. Were you here for introductions earlier, or? did you-
Negative.
Oh, kind of real about around the table introductions again.
Rick Scott, City Blackwood Sewer and Storm.
Scott Murphy, Street and Sanitation Superintendent.
Chase Clark, building official, fire marshal.
Princeton Lee Water Superintendent.
Mr. Miller, building permit technician, residential inspection, and planning.
Wayguard Facilities Manager. And I'm Travis Allen, Planning and Zoning Administrator.
Graham Anderson, city administrator.
Would you like to kind of go through your concept with us? We do have your site plan application and an aerial shot of the lots in question and a picture of something that you'd like to build. Any more than that?
I don't know. I mean, I'm Chris Robinson. This is my partner, Nick Jensen. We basically submitted that because we're under contract to buy those 3 lots. Those 4plexes that you have a picture of are what we're currently building right now in a different city. But this was more of what can we do? Can we get a building permit? Like what's possible? Then yeah, we want to do that exact thing, but maybe.
All right.
That's a potential. We have 2 concepts. I even brought another one that we did right next to Chubbuck City Hall. It's more of a condo townhome style. We just didn't know what your guys' rules were, density levels, stuff like that. Where they're already pre-developed, we had a couple questions because we didn't develop it like we would normally do. But he owns some property in the area. He reached out and they were willing. So we want to go through, that's the ones we're building currently, over under style. I had talked with Chase about some fire suppression stuff before. So there's a few questions we had, but we wanted to see what your department said from the building aspect. If that concept is, at least that general idea is doable in the area. And then I had a couple of questions that we might need to modify.
Okay. We'll start with Rex on sewer.
There's 2 sewer services available to the 3 lots. I don't know whether they're all 2, but there's only 2. They're approximately 10 feet deep, 9 feet, 9, 10 feet. With the 4plex, as long as the building is individually under a single ownership, it may have a single connection to the sewer. If the structure is going to be, or the residential unit is going to be individually owned, it has to have its own sewer service to the main. Sewer availability fee is $7,000 per unit. Not building, but if you have a 4plex, that's 4 units, that's $28,000.
That's just sewer only.
Yes. Stormwater and snow removal must be remained on site. I think that's all I've got, unless you have a question.
On, if we do this, every entity's different, so that's why we're here. In the Chubbuck area is different than Pocatello, which is bolted at the hip ironically, but on a couple of those, like the stormwater stuff, do you have to have an architecture drawing, or can we just do an AutoCAD landscape design with water retention design?
If it's retained on your property, I can make recommendations, but I don't have a standard.
Okay.
You said there's 2 services for those 3 lots. Can we split one off, or how do we get the other lot to have its own?
Yeah,
Take it to the main.
tap it to the road.
Okay.
Yeah, it appears that the middle lot did not get a service. I think originally they was only gonna do 2 lots through the whole thing.
Yeah, it looks like it was recorded in 03 and then replatted in 14, so we don't know if that's what happened, but that's why we're here. Do you have a tap fee if we go into the main line for a third
It's the
service?
7,000
That's part
for
of it.
residential unit. And there's a inspection fee on top of that, $42.50.
33.
Okay.
43.75.
Okay. So for streets, you'd be required to put a sidewalk in there in front of the property. Depending on the condition of the curb and gutter, I would have to come out and look at it. You might have to replace the curb and gutter if it's in bad shape. Yeah. That's all I have for streets. For sanitation, sanitation has capacity to supply services to the property. It would be, if you do build 4 units on each lot, it would be an individual residential container per unit. That's how that would be serviced. And that's all I have.
So we spoke about this before, but just to reiterate, fourplexes require sprinklers. And of course is commercial residential building, we'll make sure to get an architect's on the funds. You have good hydrant, you have good access and hydrant layout, you have coverage, so. That's all I got.
On that fire, do you know where they were developed predating that code? Are we assuming there's no 2-inch water stub to the property for that purpose?
I don't know what we,
It's probably 2.5 services, that 3rd lot.
So
Looks like
if
it's
we do
divided
a
to
fire
3 lots.
suppression, would we have to tap the main line for that?
So what we've seen, John, in other fourplexes, they bring a 2-inch service past the meter, and then they tap off for whatever fire suppression, and then everything goes to culinary service, all one.
Okay.
2-inch.
So we don't have to tap the main
But if
line.
the sprinklers go off, somebody's probably not washing dishes.
With fire, Chase and I had talked about it before, so I'm actually in the Home Builders Association out of Pocatello area, and I have a state position. I'll cut the story as short as I can. We're fighting the state on this code. We've done all the research back to 2005. There's only been 2 recorded fires in 4-plex units in the entire state. One was a kitchen fire. Fire department had it out in less than 10 minutes. The other one was a stairwell fire in the design that he has contained to the stairwell and was out in less than 10 minutes. We're actually going to bring it in front of the governor. The head of the committee actually sells fire suppression and alarm service. In my opinion, it's a massive conflict of interest. We've boiled it down from infrastructure all the way to final, and it's about $47,190 a building for fire suppression. So we're actually fighting that. We have a building official in St. Anthony and one in Chubbuck that are willing to go to Boise with us to reduce the fire suppression. If we bring all the information forward to show that there's been no loss of life, no burn victims, and really the 2-hour burn has proved itself in the only 2 fires we have. If we don't take it all the way to February, are you guys willing to look at that stuff through code review and consider going back to that 2-hour burn wall like we've done for the last 8 developments? Or is it, no, you're sticking state code, and you're,
Yeah, until they change the code, we gotta enforce the code as they adopted it.
Okay.
So, not that I agree or don't agree with it, it's just, I gotta follow the code that they.
yeah, we've done so much information, letters from insurance companies that don't want it, because if A goes off, B, C, and D go off, floods the whole building, even if it was a false fire. I mean, there's a ton of stuff that we've got, but there's literally no reason to have fire suppression in these units. There's no, their argument is, oh, it's safer than 0 deaths. How do you beat 0 deaths? If you chat GBT, how many people die in car accidents a year, it's an average of 1 per day in the state of Idaho. Like, it's wild because the code is just kind of ridiculous, but it seems like it's self-serving for the committee chair, Brent Crane, that even passed it. But it's added so much money to affordable housing. It's a huge cost. And then on construction, it's the only delay we've had on the project we're currently on. Everything else has been smooth. So I just wanted to get your intake on that, depending on how fast we move on this. We're not the type of guys that buy something and wait. We're kind of, we go and it's done. So I just wanted to get your impression if no, we have to go fire suppression, figure out the 2-inch water line, or if you would take that information into consideration and say yay or nay later. Okay,
Yep.
All right.
Not fire suppression's only a 4-plex, right? If we do side by side, that's not a thing.
Yeah, if you do like townhomes, yeah, townhomes or duplexes, then you're in the IRC.
Is there, what's roughly a building permit cost for a 4-plex compared to a townhome?
Based off the value.
Yeah, that's based off the value. So you'll submit the cost of construction and then we'll do a percentage off of that and then that'll be the fee. So
What's the fee calculation?
Is there a fee schedule on that? Let's see.
yeah, I don't know what off the top of my head.
I'll send it to you, the fee schedule.
You'll have access to the notes from this meeting through the OpenGo site.
And I'll upload the map.
Okay, thanks.
And a list of contacts for people who was in this meeting.
My turn?
Yep.
We kind of already covered some of the water, so odds are it only just has the 2.5-inch stubs. That's based on the stuff to the north, how that was put in. I can't tell you what the connection fee is off the top of my head when we get beyond 1 inch. But if you do like kind of the townhome route and they're individually owned and sold, you'd have to bring in connection for each unit. But they can have,
Townhome and singularly owned.
yeah, if they're single owned and they can never, they're never parceled off, then they can have one, but the second they get parceled off, then we've got to go back and add separate service to it. Whatever you kind of do with the 4-plex, that's just what we've seen for their fire suppression systems. They just bring a single 2-inch connection through the meter and then tap off for their fire suppression and culinary service to each unit. So, that just saves cost, creating 2 connections.
Right.
So,
Plus another roof potential.
yeah. So that's kind of where we're at. It's for like landscaping and that, encourage xeriscaping and trying to minimize just non-culinary use of water. So things to look at there for landscaping and that, and then any irrigation system, they're their own permits when you get to that point. So. And then as stated, like I say, we're here to help you. So if you need further information, reach out to my office and we can work through pretty much anything. So.
All good? You good? Good. These 3 lots, they were plotted out, like you said, in 2014. We adopted our current dimensional standards for lot sizes in 2023. And so for our HDR zone, our minimum lot size is a half acre. If you put all 3 of these together, that is a half acre. So it might require you to replat it to be a half acre to have to meet the minimum lot size for HDR1. You could possibly have an argument there for a hardship or variance because you were platted at 2014 and then we adopted half acre size in 2023. That, like I said, you may have an argument there, but you would still have to go through planning and zoning, would have to conduct a hearing in order to get that variance. It wouldn't have to go before city council, but it'd have to go through P&Z to do that. Or just replat it. If you wanted to do a townhomes, we would require it to be a PUD, so you could have reduced lot sizes. And then that's kind of another way to do it. If you did the PUD, then you'd be able to sell the individual units to each individual townhome as well. So there's a couple of ideas for you to think about. Minimum, so if you didn't do some of that, we still have the minimum width and depth of 60 foot frontage, stuff like that. Some of them would be reduced under application for a PUD to be able to meet the density requirements of HDR1. Density requirement for HDR1 is 30 units per acre. You'd have half acre there, so you're looking at 15 units. We do have in our code that on developments that are less than an acre, each unit must provide 100 square feet of private open space per unit. And we just adopted parking requirement, 2.5 parking spaces per unit, or 1 for every bedroom, whichever is greater. So what you look like you have here is 3-bedroom units in your duplex. So 3 times 4, you'd have to provide 12 parking spaces. I think the spaces that you had in the picture here were a little less than that. Finding then parking spaces would be up to your design. If you did a planned unit development, replatted the whole area, then you'd have a big common space in there. You'd be able to fit the parking spaces somehow in there. That common space would meet your green space requirement as well. I think that's most of the issues that I come across for our zoning regulations. We do have quite a bit of parking for you to get in there, and that common space is required because you're under an acre. That's in our code.
Okay.
Of course,
If you go to a 2-bedroom, because we have that same style, they're over unders. We have it in a 2-bed and a 3-bed, obviously parking reduces. But the 100 square foot per building is the same. Per unit.
or any
Okay.
development under a half acre, you don't have any more than that. So
I guess I missed, how many 100 square feet of common space for every what?
for every unit, and that applies for developments that are less than an acre.
Mailboxes might fall under you. Is it a CMU mailbox situation? Is
Yes.
that you?
It's kind of, I don't think we have any code for it. It'd be proposed in your PUD.
The post office requires anything more than 4 units to have a,
Box. It's more the post office requirement. We do have in our spec drawings, like how you put a mailbox in the sidewalk, but that's a post office requirement.
We've seen a lot of building, we've seen individual, we've seen CU, it's just everybody has their.
And if you wanted to put it in the city's right of way, we'd have to approve that as well.
And you said the garbage was individual units, individual cans,
Yeah.
not big dumpsters.
No, you don't have anywhere to put the dumpster off the street where our truck will be able to pull in and access it. So that's what we do to the property to the north, the fourplex there. They're all individually residential containers.
Is there a density level, who's the department, density level for any requirements on ADA units? Or is, because these aren't designed, can you modify the plan to make an ADA unit?
Not for
Every
ADA.
table has a density level that after, I think it's 20 units you have to have.
Not for ADA, but for parking we do, so one ADA space for every 25, 0 to 25. If you have like a property management office where there's a public space, you don't want that ADA near that. If you did have an ADA unit, you'll obviously closer to that for that person to be able
It's
to.
typically, this is a little bit small, but every jurisdiction is a little different, but man, if it gets into an ADA dumpster, ADA unit, it gets expensive fast. But I get it, because we work with the Lunar Warrior Project, so we have a lot of those type of houses. And it's hard on those guys, so it's, we have to have it, we have to plan.
Yeah, if you have a public space, public access, I mean, if you put in a playground, you still have to make that slope it to be able to access it with a wheelchair. If you have a public area where people come in and fill out rental applications or a property manager's office, that's considered a public space. You can't fall under ADA there, but not as density requirement for zoning.
I was wondering while he's looking, is there, a lot more applications for fourplexes or townhomes? Like, is there a,
Townhomes,
is it trying to get rid of fire suppression?
among other things.
That's the big one, sure.
Well, fire suppression and access.
You get a lot of twin homes too.
Yeah, twin homes, but currently Highland Heights is mostly townhomes. Honeybrook 4 is mostly townhomes. Or, yeah, 3, Honeybrook 3.
There's a large density level in the Chubbuck Hotel area, and there was some of the 150 fourplex permits pulled in the last 4 months. Like, yeah, I think we're kind of geared away from that a little bit, so that's why we're asking here. Our
Well,
intention with these is build the whole rental property. And so we're trying to do our due diligence before we buy. There is a potential we can buy the 3 behind, but he's difficult to get hold of. He works out of state. So we're trying to see how this works with all of your departments, if we can pull it off.
okay. Yeah, like you said, that was platted out in 2014, and then we adopted our.
He drove over there to FaceTime me, and he's like, I only see 2 meters. I'm like, 2 meters with 3 lots. So that's why I called my engineer, and like, I'll bet you something happened between development and 3 lots. Okay.
But like I was saying, I think Honeybrook 3 is around 50 units. They're all townhouses. Highland Heights is 146 units, 20 of which is single family, the rest are townhouses.
Well, I'm wondering if some of that is the cost of entrance, because the young families are getting hammered. Like, Rockwell's over $400,000 now. I mean, it's crazy to me, but, so I'm sure they're trying to get the density to get the cost down for potential home buyers. It's just,
Well, they're trying to get a target market, just like that.
that's what
Probably
we can
what I
afford here. Yeah, starter families can't have $500,000 starter homes.
Well, we're waiting to see the fallout from starter home subdivision legislation that goes into effect July 1st.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone would actually want to take that on.
I read it, I was there, so. I'm gonna be-
Yeah.
Me personally, I'm gonna kind of watch from a distance, but we'll see. But I'm sure that's some of it. Some of it can possibly be the fire suppression costs, some of it can be the cost of entrance for, single family and starter home, first time buyers. But we'll see what happens, but it looks like been looking at your economy, and it looks like the site's supposed to be hiring, obviously Premier's trying to hire, like, so it looks like you guys have some good economic growth anyways from what we're seeing. So that's what we're watching, but this kind of gives some good direction of what we're, going out there before I head back to Pokey and take a look at what it would take to estimate it up.
Yeah, that's why I realized that it's platted in 2014, try and provide a solution there and still be within the code.
A PUD or ask for a variance, sounds like.
Graham, you have any comments?
No, it'd be nice to see this develop out. I mean, infill's a big part of what we like to see happen, so. We wanna work with you and find solutions, so.
It sounds like everything you guys brought up is workable for what we have for these designs. We're not sure if we want the over, under, or the townhome style. But this was kind of our step one before we ended up buying it and go, oh, we can't do anything.
Yeah.
I think that's a worst case scenario for us.
Yeah, it'd be
Now we
nice,
can allow a dirt bike track there, you know,
it'd be nice if you guys bought all 6 lots and developed it all.
and that's what we're trying. And he's in contact with him, but he's Alaska or something. And he's very difficult to get a hold of.
So are those 3 lots on the backside, is it, everything's the same? Or is these 3 like nothing's different?
They may not have stubs in.
They
They were all stuff to the north.
Two
They had-
lots.
They had big lots and they put 2 on each and they had one utility service coming in for 2 buildings. And it was all under one big development and then that development went under and now they've all been parceled off. So the units to the north of you guys, they have to go back in and re-tap everything because now they're owned by different people. And they don't want to pay the water bill for this other 4 units that they don't own. So we've had to go back and fix a lot of things. And it gets pretty hard because that's all built out. And there's gas lines and everything else. And how do you get the water lines back over and separate, find the line one between the buildings, separate them, tie them in, it's been kind of a pain for everybody. But it's just how it played out.
Is there sewer water in that road behind, or do they
Yes.
have to come through?
No, you would have to just tap off Neff and if it was there.
You did them other 3 lots, you're getting real close to an acre to get out of that requirement for 100 square feet. Common space for everything.
We have a verbal from him, but nothing in writing. With her, we do, and that's why we're here. So it kind of was step one, but it sounds like we could secure it, then some of that stuff handles itself. Okay.
Alrighty, thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
Like I said, these meeting notes will be, and contact list will be on your application for the site.
Okay.
Just give us a couple days to transcribe it.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is Joan Gregory.
Back again.
Back again. Pretty easy one, Rex.
I know, just move around a little bit.
I like it. So, 1314 Wilson Avenue at the Turkey Valley Warehouse. And we were selling them 2.6 acres. Originally, there's approximately a little less than 4 acres on the entire site. Now they want to purchase the additional ground. But they want to purchase it in 2 names. One would be Turkey Valley Coffee and the other one would be the Turkey Valley Coffee owner, Suzanne Boyer, putting it into a real estate LLC. So I'm gonna sell them the whole site, but it's gonna go into 2 names. So then I came to Travis, he said we need to do a minor subdivision, so we have everything drawn, all the legal descriptions are done, it's all ready to go.
We'll start with Rex.
My only concern is where's the sewer going to the Fraser Valley?
The building now is up,
Yeah.
it goes up the hill to the end of Jenny Drive, or the start of Jenny Drive up there.
So they put in a pump and they're pumping it up.
Yes.
So I see something that needs sewer and water development. I don't have a problem.
Just so for your notes, Travis, I talked to John yesterday about the curb and gutter requirement on the entrance coming into this property.
Yeah.
From Lansing.
Okay.
That we would require that when the city, if the city ever develops the road and improves it, then the property owner would be required to put in that curb gutter and sidewalk
Gutter, sidewalk over.
at that time. But other than that, I don't have anything.
Why you're looking at me? I'm supposed to.
Which one do you want? Which one? I'll give it to you and I'll put that.
It's just, it's like,
This is-
Take that.
All right, Scott, what do you have, other than sidewalk improvements, if we ever get that dedicated? So we don't have any dedicated right of way, only up to the corner of Lansing and Wilson.
Yeah.
We do, it's outside the city limits, that hasn't been annexed in, the storage units that are back in there too. So maybe if that ever gets annexed in, that's what we would have.
Well, like
require.
John was doing, you were working a deal with the storage unit guy to improve both access points. I think that's what you guys were gonna, you guys were gonna pave all that at one time, which it's on your private. The only thing I require is the curb and gutter and ADA approaches on that corner in the future when the city develops the curb and gutter and stuff in that area.
And we're totally okay with that.
why do we? There needs to be access to that storm area, and that needs to be brought into your development.
Which storm area is that?
The storm area that's in that, you bring up the map.
On Jenny Drive?
No, the storm area that's in that southeast corner down there. That needs to be attached to your subdivision and access along the back of those properties to get to it. You were gonna put a park there and develop that section.
Yeah, that's on Jenny Drive.
It comes off of Jenny Drive, but it's in that lot that you're selling off.
No.
No.
That's not part of this.
No, he's
We're
selling
only
off.
looking at this.
Yeah, we're only looking
Yeah, I'm selling off right over here.
Oh, I thought you were selling off.
Nope.
No, this is still gonna be Jenny Drive.
Okay,
Yes, I'm still in it. When we develop that, we totally are planning it that way.
too many lines on the page. Too many.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not on Jenny Drive yet.
okay, I thought it was, you were splitting off that to sell to the other guy, the Treasure Valley at the other.
Yeah,
It's a 2.6 that is being split to two owners.
No, it's almost 4 acres. So it's being split to 2 owners, yeah. So where the blue line is, or the green line all the way,
Yeah.
it's all of that.
That's being split into two, okay.
Yes.
I'm caught up.
4.32 acres.
Hey, John, I'm just curious, do they have plans to develop more on that property?
No, not at all right now. They want it for parking and additional truck parking and trailer loader additionally.
So it looks like we'll have some good access maintained. And so that's really the only concern I have here. Looks like we've already addressed it, so fire should be good.
That looks like you got the easement recorded for the line running up to Treasure Valley. So, and I have no issue with this. Other question though, how are you planning on, just do a, you know, you develop that, we start on getting that loop through,
On Jenny Drive.
yeah, for,
What my plan is there is whatever you tell me to do. That's not gonna
That could be dangerous.
Water slide?
Yeah. We have a hill.
Well, as long as we've got a workable thing, so
Okay.
we're not making it so difficult, getting water and other utilities back in there when that time comes.
Okay.
So, and I'm not an engineer or a surveyor, so
Yeah.
it appears that it is good, so.
Thank you.
I like it.
Okay.
Actually, yeah. And I like the easement they have in recorded in here with, says warranty deed instrument number, record of survey with Harvard. To have that, to meet our requirement for, access, we do have access requirement within the zoning regulation that is kind of greater than what fire code is, but it's with 400 feet.
Mhm.
So I think that would suffice because you're showing 30-foot wide and this, we only require a 20-foot width for that. 400 feet is, you're going 400 feet from the other access. Usually, I think we measure that from the closest right of way, but you're going from one easement to another. You provided all the fire protection for the warehouse for Treasure Valley. So I think we're meeting that. I'm not a surveyor. I know there's a little hill there. Don't know if it's 10% grade or greater, or if it's right around there. Yeah. That's the only requirement I see. You're in the M1 zone, so we don't require conditional use permits for a parking lot or other uses that we've already planned on putting in there, like the warehouse and stuff like that.
Okay.
So if they want to use it as a parking lot for extra trucks, it's zoned for that under the M1 designation.
All right.
Any comment, Sharon?
Do it.
Split,
I did have a couple of questions.
Okay, go ahead.
So they want to put an electronic gate and a fence down at, kind of about even with the storage units. And so, number one, we'd have to get in there for dumpsters. They're saying they would leave it open all day long, and then for fire to get in there, do we need to do a Knox box on there?
The big gate access Knox box.
Okay, is that what you prefer? Is that or a code or what? Because the code can get changed, without.
Yeah, I think there's a few different options. The Knox box, you can actually put a key card in there, so we can use the key card as the code.
Yeah.
Or however they want to do that. There's lots of different, if you go to the Knox box, it's knoxbox.com. But they have a whole bunch of options to choose from.
Yeah.
And they have one specific to gate access,
Okay.
so.
Okay.
Whatever one fits better for you guys, and
Okay. I'll go with the fence guy and see what he reckons, and I'll check in with him, make sure, and then.
Just
we're
as
getting
long
in
as
there
it,
for the
like the
dumpster.
metal dumpsters get, the route run starts at 4 o'clock in the morning, so we just want to make sure it's open early.
Okay, or get them the code also, or just.
Yeah, that code.
Okay. They started during the middle of the night also, but.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I figure the coffee guys are probably there earlier.
Yeah.
That's racist.
The Knox box access to the gate is just the button inside the Knox box, then pushing the gate opens.
Okay,
Or the fire key.
Yeah, they got the fire key, they open the lock box, push a button, the gate opens.
okay, that does
All
me.
right, thanks for fulfilling that. We'll get them notifications out.
Okay.
We'll get this approved through, this one would only be through Public Works Council.
Yeah.
Because it's a minor subdivision.
Yeah.
But I still have to take comment for the 14 to 21 days.
Okay. Sounds great.
Give you a
Thanks, John.
approval. The county has kind of changed their processes for plan reviews. They require a reviewer and then reviewer fees, unless Peterson has a reviewer that they like to use. Contact Wendy Pinkham about how you want to do that or what your fees are going to be for that.
Because Gwen's not there anymore,
Gwen's not there anymore, they don't have that in-house anymore.
so we gotta get the
Yeah.
legal description on that review.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have them look at it, and see what they don't like it or what they require.
Yeah.
I think you meet all our elements that we require
Yeah.
for the minor sub, or not even name new streets or anything like that, so.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's, we need their approval before you get our signatures too.
Okay.
So,
Get on that.
they might require that your taxes be up to date before the treasurer signs it too.
Okay. No problem.
You said the sewer goes up to Jenny Lane.
Yes.
How did they get through? It looks like you've got property area there that would be residential.
So we came.
No, you're good.
We came right through here, so we made an easement through there for the sewer and the water also.
Okay, is it recorded?
I don't know if it's recorded yet, but I'll make sure it is.
I don't see a record number for that easement.
It's on a record of survey, but the easement itself isn't recorded.
Yeah, it's on a record of serving, but the easement itself isn't recorded.
Okay.
Do
I'll
you
have
need
Frank get that
a
done.
certain width on that easement? Or just make sure?
General utility easement, 20 foot.
Okay.
That's what we were doing, 20 foot.
Yeah, so let's put that in there, like our conditional approval, so make sure that's in the
And
plan.
then the gas is going from there also, then that's the gas.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll do it.
Make sure.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mark.
Get stuff going.
Less minutes.
Hang on. Hang on.
Board has comments, so,